Sup guys, Christos here, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my top software and tools that I use to track my investments into the stock market. When you're investing into so many different companies like myself, keeping up to date with the latest news, prices and valuations can be quite a difficult task. So I personally think it's so important to have the right tools to make sure that you can keep up to date and to make sure that you don't miss anything important. So having said that, what I have is 5 different websites and apps that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. These are all going to be completely free. However, some will have paid options, but I think each and every single one serves a different purpose for me, depending on where I am and what type of things I want to be looking at. So having said that, drop a like on this video if you're looking forward to it, and let's jump straight in. Okay, so let's start off with the absolute basics, and everyone I think should be using this website because this is the best website to go to check out any company, and that is of course Yahoo Finance. It's completely free to go to. Oh, by the way, what I'm going to do is leave a link to all of these different websites and apps in the description down below so you can go and check them out at any time. But basically the website here is finance.yahoo.com, and basically, as you can see here, what I use Yahoo Finance for is just to check up on a company. So if someone mentions a company to me that I've never heard of before, the first thing that I'll do is pop their ticker symbol or their company name into Yahoo Finance and just take a look. Obviously you can see all of the different basics around the company. You can go and have a look at the management team. You can see who is actually holding this company. So as you can see, we're just taking a look at Apple here as an example. You can see all of the different individual stockholders. You can see all of the different institutions that hold this company. You can also see all of the different stats on the company as well. As you can see, you've got the trailing PE, you've got the forward PE ratios as well. Everything that you need to know from a statistical point of view about a company, you are going to be able to find on Yahoo Finance. And that's all I really use it for, just to take a quick overhead of a company. If you've been watching my videos in the past, you would have seen me basically start off by taking a look at the company that I'm researching into with Yahoo Finance and basically just going through those basic kind of stats. We've got the market cap that you can check for the company. You've got the earnings per share. You've got the earnings date. Everything you need to know about a company will be on Yahoo Finance, and that's all I really use it for. Moving on to my next tool. Now, this is a brand new tool that I have only just started using, and it's been absolutely amazing, and that is Sharesight. So as you can see on the screen right here, you probably can work out what this is, but basically what it is a portfolio tracker. Now, if you are like me and you have your investments across different apps, so for example, myself, I have a lot of stocks on my Hargreaves Lansdown app, I have Trading 212, I use crypto apps as well, and tracking all of these in one day can be quite kind of difficult. You know, you're having to go into each one, you're going to have to log in, go through the 2-step authentication just to check your stocks and see how well they're doing. And this basically solves all of those problems. What I've been able to do over the last couple of days is import all of my trades over the past 3 to 4 years. And basically what it will do is it will track my entire investment portfolio. So as you can see for this year, we're currently 10% up. I'm actually going to be doing a portfolio video in about a couple of days time, so I won't go too much into this, but as you can see, we've got all of the different companies that I'm currently invested into. One thing that I really like about this is that it includes everything. So it includes my capital gains, it includes my dividends that I've earned from the company, and because I'm investing in a lot of American companies, it also includes the currency conversion, which I think is absolutely fantastic to include because it's not something that you typically see in a breakdown on a trading app. I know obviously Trading 212 and a few other apps do have it, but it's not quite as visible. So it's really nice to see exactly where you are making your money as a whole, and I think this is a great website to use. One more thing that I think is absolutely fantastic is that you can actually benchmark against other indexes. So for example, if I was to go ahead and click add a benchmark, so we could go ahead and pick the VUSA, which is a tracker or a ETF for the S&P 500, and we can actually measure to see how well I am doing against that fund. So as you can see, the VUSA is absolutely crushing my entire portfolio at the minute. I would have been better off just investing into that, but there you go, we carry on. But I think that's a really cool thing that you can actually do. And by the way, you can just measure this against anything. So I could do my whole entire portfolio measured against Tesla stock, for example, or Apple stock. And that's just a really cool feature of this app. Another thing that I use this for, or I'm going to be using this for a lot in the future, is actually the reports where you can actually take a look at how well I am diversified in my investments. So if I was to come over here and I was to go and click on this diversity report here, and we just let that load. As you can see, it says every single investment that I'm currently invested into, and I can see the holdings that I've got. So one of the rules that I have, I typically don't want to invest more than 5% into a company. And as you can see, taking a look here, we're a little bit over leveraged on Corsair stock at the minute. We're a little bit over leveraged on Disney stock. Apple, I don't really count into this because Apple is just the company that I've always invested into. So as you can see, I've got a large position into Apple, but I'm talking about the smaller cap companies. This is a really good tool just to keep a track on this and just see how well you are diversified across your portfolio. But realistically, Sharesight is a really, really good option to use. It is completely free to sign up to. However, the only catch is you can only hold up to 10 investments in your portfolio at one time. If you did want to upgrade and get access to more holdings, what you can obviously do is go ahead and pay for the starter plan. This will give you access to 20 holdings, or you could go ahead and go for the unlimited plan with the investor plan and the expert plan. I currently am on the expert plan simply because I wanted all of these different benefits as well. You get some tax benefits as well. You get the benchmarking as well, which is what I just showed you. It's really good. You actually get a really nice discount if you sign up for the year as well. I just saw it as good value for me. But like I said, it's completely free to start off with. You can have up to 10 holdings, like I said. And yeah, you can get started with it. So if you're only just getting started with your investing, then maybe it's good to start on the free plan, and then maybe over time as you add more positions you can then upgrade as you go. So that's Sharesight, absolutely fantastic app to be able to track your investments, especially if you're investing across multiple different portfolios. Okay, so next up on my list is going to be Simply Wall Street. Now this is a software or a website that I have recommended in a previous video when I had only just started using it, so I didn't really know enough about it, and it has grown to be a really important piece of software that I use for my investments. And the reason why I like Simply Wall Street is because it pretty much does give you everything that Yahoo Finance gives you, but what they do is they present it in a much more visually satisfying and simple, obviously by the name Simply Wall Street, way of actually showing things, and you'll be able to see that in a second. And for me, somebody that is very much more of a visual learner, I like to see things laid out in a nice and neat way. Having just loads of numbers thrown at me on a screen does get me a little bit overwhelmed sometimes, and this kind of really does solve that problem. And if we just take a look at an example company, let's actually start off with DraftKings, as I've been talking about that a lot on this channel lately. If we just load this page up, what you're going to be able to see is a full overview of this company, but in a much more better laid out fashion. As you can see down the left hand side, we've got all of the main things that we want to be looking at this company. So we've got the valuation, we've got the future predictions for this company from some analysts, we've got the past performance, we've got the balance sheet health, we've got the dividend structure if they have one, you've got the management of the company, and then you've got who is buying and selling shares of this company in terms of institutions and insiders. So if we just start to scroll down, what you can start to see is we'll go through all of these different things as we scroll. So the first thing we see is an overview of the company, which is really good. If we're just discovering this company for the first time, you can go ahead and click on this about the company, and it'll give you a little bit more of a detailed explanation. You can go ahead and check out some of the competitors of the company. If we have a look here, we've got the DraftKings competitors and their different market caps. So this is really good when doing your competitor analysis and all of that good stuff. You've got the price history and the performance. You've got the news about the company. And basically, when you're just doing an analysis of a stock, you can just work your way through this, work through the different criteria that you've set for yourself in terms of what you look for a company, and things just get a lot more easier to take a look at. So if we just keep scrolling down, we can see the valuation. So this is based on Simply Wall Street analyst prediction. So as you can see right here, it's saying that they think that DraftKings is currently 48.4% undervalued. Now, obviously you want to take what analysts say with a pinch of salt. You always want to do your own research, but this is a really nice tool just to have, just when you're getting that overview of a company. Like I said, all of this information is going to be on the internet, like Yahoo Finance and other places as well, but it's just presented in a much nicer way on Simply Wall Street, if you ask me. Just scrolling down a little bit more just to take a look at some more things. You've got the forecast for the company, so what analysts are predicting. So if you've got an earnings call coming up, you want to see what they're expecting it to do, and you can judge whether it's going to beat or not beat the predictions and all of that stuff. I'm not going to go through it all because I'm guessing you can work it out, but basically what I use this for is when I'm starting to look into a company, if I wanted a full overview and I wanted to just start working through the things that I look for in a long-term investment, this is a really nicely laid out way to do it. As you can see, once again, you can use this completely free. You can just sign up straight away. However, what you can only do is track up to 5 companies every single month. So once the month's up, what that will do is completely reset, but you can keep looking at those 5 companies throughout the entire month. Obviously, if you were to go with a premium one, you get 30 company reports per month. And if you wanted to go for the unlimited one, you can get unlimited as well. Like I said, you can just start for free, but you'll probably work out when you get more into investing, it's probably good to upgrade to the premium and then maybe even move up to the unlimited if you're getting really serious about things. But apart from that, it's a really good website. It's, like I said, what I use when I'm starting to do my analysis of a company. I do use it in conjunction with all the other tools as well, but I do think just because of how visually satisfying this website is, it really does help me understand the company a lot easier. So that's Simply Wall Street. Okay, so the next tool that I use is actually an app, and believe it or not, if you are using an Apple iPhone, you already have this already, and that is simply the Apple Stocks and Shares app. And the reason why I use this is, number one, I can take it anywhere with me. It's installed on my phone, it's installed on my iPad, it's also installed on my MacBook Pro. And what I love about the Apple Stocks app is that I can just simply go on it whenever I want, and I can go through all of my different investments, because you're able to add a custom set of stocks to your applications. And all I do is I just have these stocks that I'm currently invested into added onto it. And all I'm going to do every single day is in the morning, I'm just going to go onto my app. I don't necessarily check the prices, but what I'm going to do is simply click on each of my investments and just see what the news is about that company for the day. Now, the reason why I think this is so important, because if there is something that comes up about a company that I maybe need to talk about on YouTube, then I'm going to see it there first. I'm going to see it first thing in the morning. I'll probably check it a few times throughout the day as well. And then there could be other things that could potentially come up that could cause me to want to either invest into that stock even more, or maybe even considering selling that stock before it gets a little bit too late. But having said that, I just think it's a great app just to stay on top of things, just to make sure you don't miss any kind of major announcements. Just for example, yesterday I had a check around 6 o'clock in the evening, and I just realized that DraftKings, we spoke about DraftKings already, a company that I'm invested into, has announced that they are going to be allowing gambling in New York. This is a big update for the company, and it's something that I'm probably going to talk about over this week. And I wouldn't have seen that if I wasn't just going through doing my checks on the app. And like I said, because it's on an app and you can take it on your mobile phone, you can take this pretty much wherever you want. And so I check it in bed, I check it when I'm out at the shops. I've checked it at the airport the other day. I just use it everywhere. And like I said, I have it on my iPad as well. So that's the fourth one. Apple stocks is completely free, but of course you have to be an Apple user to use it. If you were using Android or anything like that, you can also download the Yahoo Finance app on Android. It does have an app as well, and it's really good as well. But I think that the Apple stocks app is just laid out a little bit better. Okay, so moving on to the final one, you can see it on the screen right now, and that is going to be the Webull Desktop App. Now, if you're watching this in the UK, you can't actually sign up for a Webull account and actually trade. However, one thing that you can do is actually download the trading desktop app on your desktop, and you can also download it on your mobile phone as well. And I think this is a really good thing to have, especially if you are more of a technical person and you want to take a look at different trading trends, do some technical analysis. Me personally, I don't actually do that. What I use Webull for is actually taking a look at things when there's news events, when the stock market isn't actually open. If we actually take a look at this chart right here of Tattoo Chef, what you can see here in these darker blue shades is when the stock market is actually closed. As you can see, the volatility is quite small actually. Down here is much lower. This is because the stock market isn't open at the time. But one thing that I like to do is keep this open when the earnings calls are going on, just as something interesting to see how my stocks are reacting. For example, as you can see right here, just taking a look at DraftKings as an example, once again, we're currently in the after hours right here, and something must have happened or came out where the stock completely crashed during the after hours, and you probably wouldn't pick that up just by checking an app like Apple Stocks or Yahoo Finance. Obviously, these apps do display this kind of information, but I just like tracking this from a live point of view. What we have this evening is Coinbase's earnings coming out, depending on what day you're watching this. And one thing that I'll do is I will load up Coinbase's earnings on this, and I would just see how the stock is reacting after hours as that earnings call is going on. It doesn't really bring me much value, but as somebody that is completely in love with investing and just completely obsessed with everything to do with it, it's just something that I like to see from an interesting point of view. So I'll have this loaded up. There's also so much other information on this trading view. You can customize this view to have it looking exactly how you want. So the way that I've got it is some watch list. I've got my watch list down the right hand side, so I actually have quite a few other stocks here, maybe some stocks that I've been interested in the past. I also have the details about the company on the right hand side here. I've got the chart in the middle, and then I also have the news down the bottom there as well. But you can customize it however you want. A lot of people rely on this solely as their only instrument to invest in. However, I do like the way that the other ones are laid out a little bit more than this. So realistically, all I use for this is to look at live price action just to see how things are going, especially in the after hours as earnings come out. So that is the fifth one. And that essentially sums up all of the different tools that I use on a daily basis to track my investments and research some new ones as well. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you dropped it a like down below. All of the links to these are going to be in the description down below as well. Leave me a comment if you use any of these investing tools and the benefits that they give you. But apart from that, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, and I'll see you soon.